the majority of the South African workforce has instantly become remote, and businesses that had never managed a dispersed team were thrown into the deep end. Forced to adopt new working practices, businesses are rethinking new ways to communicate, collaborate, and engage with each other and their customers. Businesses that are still hiring during this difficult time will also need to change their hiring processes and policies. Nearly every aspect from interviewing to onboarding will have to change. Joining us to talk about how businesses will need to modify their hiring strategy during COVID-19 is Matthew Kibby, the Vice President for Services at Sage Africa and the Middle East. Matthew, welcome to the program.
Good to be with you, thanks.
Now, the COVID-19 crisis is going to change businesses and people's behavior forever. How will the hiring process change?
So it's not only the hiring processes that need to change, but it's the entire onboarding, recruiting, job search that needs to change at the moment. So if you look at the way companies are doing things differently, and it's a little bit cliched, but let's get the cliche out of the way to start with, we are sailing in uncharted waters at the moment. So it's very difficult for companies to have a blueprint of exactly what they need to be doing. The fact is, though, that we're working remotely. We need to recruit remotely. We need to onboard remotely. So what we're looking at are a number of things. First and foremost, we're looking internally at our own workforce, looking at ways that we can reskill the workforce, looking at ways that we can take our existing talent pool, groom that talent, and move those into different positions that are becoming more business critical as this pandemic unfolds. Over and above that, when we are looking for external candidates, we have a vast amount of talent to choose from because, as we all know, the unemployment rate is rising by the day. People are becoming really creative in how they're engaging with businesses to find employment. So we have a massive talent pool that is open to us as business. But first and foremost, look internally. Once you've made the decision to recruit external candidates, then it's down to the hiring process, the interview process. How do you interview people these days without physically being in contact with them? So there are a few things there that we look for. We look to identify people who are able to portray their value to the business. And that's very important. So if you're out there looking for a job at the moment, you need to be able to very clearly and succinctly portray your value to a company. Also, get in touch with reputable recruitment agencies. At Sage, we have a recruitment agency internally that we use, and if you work through a reputable recruitment agency, your chances of finding top talent is so much better because all of the screening is done. The interview process becomes quite interesting because we're doing it all online now. So you'll have face-to-face interviews similar to what we're doing right now, using some of the tools like Zoom, Skype, Microsoft Teams, whatever it may be. If you're a candidate out there looking for a role, become accustomed to these technologies. Get used to them. Make sure that if you are sitting for an interview, make sure that the room that you're sitting in has the right amount of lighting, that you're dressed appropriately for the interview. These are all things that prospective recruiters are going to be looking for.
Now, as you've rightfully mentioned, companies are heading for a new status quo, and the businesses that embrace technology to find and support new ways of working and hiring will flourish. But are businesses really adapting? Matthew?
Sorry, could you repeat that? You broke up a little bit there.
I was saying there that we're heading for a new status quo here. So the businesses that embrace technology to find and support new ways of working and hiring will flourish. But are companies really adapting?
It's taking time. I think some companies are adapting better than others. There are some industries that are really thriving in the current situation. Take technology as a very good example. The tech industry is still thriving. We're still doing really well. But other industries, such as the hospitality industry, the eventing industry, these industries are not doing well. They're really battling. But there are certain industries that are doing well, that are thriving, that are looking for new talent. So yeah, there is a lot of opportunity out there if you've got the right skill and the right attitude. I think what I'd like to add to this discussion is that there's an opportunity now for potential candidates to look at reskilling themselves during this situation, particularly if you are currently unemployed. If you have a company in mind that you'd really like to work for, you like the work they're doing, you feel that you'd be a good fit for that organization, go onto the website, have a look and see what roles are currently available at that organization. And if you don't have those skills, make a plan to get them. There are many online courses available now from highly reputable institutions such as WITS, the UJ, even Harvard has a number of online courses available at no cost at the moment. I, as an example, got an email yesterday from DSTV offering me online courses through the DSTV channel. These are all things that potential candidates can do to upskill themselves during these difficult times, to make themselves more attractive to potential organizations that are recruiting.
You speak about some of the challenges faced by a lot of small businesses in the country at this particular period. What lessons do you think can be learned from COVID-19 or this particular period?
I think companies need to become a lot more agile than they have been. What we found, if we take a simple example, an organization or a company that makes tents, we know that the hospitality industry has really taken a hammering, so that the market for tents or for camping equipment right now it's disappeared. There is no market for that kind of equipment at the moment. So I know an organization near where I live that has refocused itself to make masks. And that's just one example of how companies need to be agile and refocus their energy on what is actually required right now. Simple example, but yeah, absolutely. The company that I represent, it's tax year end at the moment. So what we have done is we have offered online consulting rather than face-to-face consulting to assist small companies through this period of tax returns at tax year end. What we've also done is we've put some seminars together free of charge, where organizations and individuals can learn about the COVID-19 TERS detail from the Department of Labor. So we've brought experts in to give detail around what TERS is, how it can work, how it can impact individuals and small businesses, and what small businesses should be doing to assist their employees when they're battling to survive.
So for businesses who are still hiring during this difficult time, is it more feasible to hire full-time staff or perhaps explore this gig economy?
So the gig economy is an interesting concept, and it's something that is really taking off at the moment. What we're finding is that full-time recruitment is really minimal at the moment. So very few companies are recruiting permanent employees at the moment. But a lot of organizations are looking to recruit contract work for specific tasks in specific time frames. What we're also finding is that potential candidates are contacting companies and offering their services free of charge just to get a foot in the door. There was a newspaper article in the past weeks where Eskom, one of our big SOEs, is bringing ex-employees back into the fold to help them over this period do the much needed refurbishments of some of the aging power stations. These people are coming into Eskom at no cost to us, the taxpayer, or to Eskom, and these are the kinds of things that are happening. So if you can get your foot in the door, even if it's for a short-term contract, even if it's free of charge, offering your services as an intern to assist, to show your value to organizations, get your foot in the door, and the chances of you getting permanent employment once this is over are so much better.
Now, you mentioned the onboarding process a short while ago. How has this changed now in the times of COVID-19? Because one can imagine that this is usually a very personal experience.
It is, and it's tough at the moment. You know, a lot of companies have locked down their offices, so we're still 100% work from home. So when you're onboarding candidates, you're doing it remotely. So what you need to do is make sure that you have, number one, all of the technology needs to be available for the new recruit. So you need a laptop, you need to make sure that network availability is there. If you're going to be working remotely and have access to secure systems, you need to make sure that that access is available right from day one. The hiring manager needs to make sure that they engage with the candidate ahead of time to make sure that they know what to expect when they're onboarded, to make sure, as I said, that the laptop is delivered, that all of the technology that they may need, headsets, access to Skype, access to Microsoft Teams is all there. And then on that first day of employment, the hiring manager and people from your HR team need to assist the new candidate to get into the culture of the organization, to understand what the expectations of their job role are, and really to make them feel comfortable and at home despite the fact that they're not in a physical office location. This, again, is all new to all of us who are in business, so it's something that we haven't necessarily done before. We're learning as we go along, and we're refining the processes as we go along as well.
And in less than a minute, if you can just explain to us what the role of artificial intelligence is, especially when it comes to the recruitment and hiring process.
Well, you know, with recruiters being absolutely inundated with CVs these days, what we're finding is that a lot of reputable recruitment agencies are using artificial intelligence to do the first sift through the CVs, if you like. So, you know, there are certain key phrases and key words that you could be looking for, and we can use artificial intelligence to do that first pass. What it does is it makes sure that the CVs that get through to the actual recruiter who's recruiting for the role have already been reviewed using artificial intelligence and the technology that surrounds that, so that you've made sure that the CVs that you get are relevant to the role of the job.